This is the Pet Buzz. And here's the Dynamic Pet Duo.
Our next guest is the Vice President of Public Relations and Communications at the AKC, or the American Kennel Club. We were really pleased to welcome Brandi Hunter to the Pet Buzz. Hello, Brandi. Welcome.
Hi there. How are you?
I always love it when Brandi comes.
I know. She's always such a happy person.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, so Brandi, first question. Why does the American Kennel Club create the most popular breed list each year?
Well, it's a twofold question. So one, we actually want people to know what breeds are popular, right? It introduces people to some breeds they may not have even thought about. But also we want to let people know, what's out there. A lot of times people just get stuck on the popular in the top 10, which we absolutely love. But there's some breeds that are in the middle that are pretty interesting. And sometimes people always want to know what's at the bottom, which is a rare question we get asked, but we get a lot of people asking about rare breeds. So it kind of gives people a scope of everything that's out there, even if they weren't necessarily paying attention.
Oh. So how many breeds are there on the list?
There are 197. We are going towards 200. We're excited.
Thank God I'm not back in veterinary college.
I know. I know.
There's plenty more to memorize.
Okay, so I guess you could say like clothing styles and baby names. The other day I was driving down the car and I listened to one of the radio guys saying that Sage is one of the most popular baby names.
Yeah, so I've heard.
Right. So I guess like baby names and clothing styles, do dog breeds go in and out of style? And what could be one of the influencers of the popularity of dog breeds?
So some breeds are timeless, right? You have like German Shepherds, Labrador Retrievers, Golden Retrievers. We've always seen them. They're kind of a staple. Bulldogs are always used as mascots. So they don't really go in and out of style. They just kind of stick around. But some are more trendy. Like we see the Corgi. The Corgi is a contender for the top 10. It's not in the top 10 right now, but it's definitely coming. And the Frenchie, which has shot up the charts in ways we didn't even imagine. And some of those factors are really from like celebrities being seen with them, social media accounts, TikTok, Instagram. Those are huge influencers on dog ownership because those dog accounts have hundreds and thousands and in some cases millions of followers. So we have people asking about breeds because of Game of Thrones or because they saw the Wells Fargo commercial with the Rhodesian Ridgeback. And we're like, where did you see that? And they're like, oh, I was watching this commercial. What kind of dog is this?
Really? The Rhodesian Ridgeback in a Wells Fargo commercial? Have you seen that?
There is one with I think it's with a Pomeranian. And they're like best friends. Yeah.
And then, wait, what did she say? What dog is in Game of Thrones?
Well, it was a dire wolves, but people wanted to get huskies because they thought they looked like dire wolves, which was not necessarily the best idea because if you don't know life with a husky, you have to be prepared for that ownership. You have to be prepared for the shedding and the blowing of the coat and the energy level and all of those things
and
that
people up the crate, chewing their way out of a crate.
Look, if you don't talk about a sporting event, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, I know. It's sad. Okay. So you had a question, Dr. Fleck.
I get to talk.
You do.
Oh, my goodness. Holy smokes. Okay. I see a lot of pets every day. I see a lot of puppies every day. I'll probably see a couple of new Frenchies today. But give us a rundown on the most popular breeds of dogs and any significant movement with dogs that are in the middle or the bottom of the AKC's most popular dog breed list.
So the top 5 are the Bulldog. Then you have the Golden Retriever. You have the German Shepherd dog, French Bulldog, and the Labrador for the 30th year in a row is number 1. It's hard to beat those Labs. They stay at the top. But what we've really seen has been interesting is a breed that we recognized recently, the Dogo Argentino. So that one's in at 93, and it hasn't even really spent, a full 5 years in recognition. And it's very cool to witness because you can tell they had a cult following. They were very excited when they got recognized. It's a wonderful breed, but also Corgis. Corgis stay in that top 20. People love that dog. It goes up and down. People love it. Poodles always stay, pretty in there. The Barbet is at 145, and it's a very interesting breed because a lot of people don't know what a Barbet looks like. So the fact that it's creeping up there, it came in the 190s for sure. And it's been creeping on up there, and I'm looking forward to seeing that one. It's one of my favorite breeds. But, we're seeing a lot of Portuguese water dogs. A lot of people are loving that. Spanish water dogs, the Lagotto Romagnolo is a climber.
They all want to have
Do you
their
know how
dogs
much
sniff
money
out
you could
truffles.
gain? Do you know how much money you could gain by taking all the tests for the veterinary students with this particular class? For
I
breed?
don't know. I always say one day maybe I'll fulfill the dream of being a dog show judge just at least one time, because I think that that's one of the coolest things I've learned.
It is, but still, really.
I always marvel at what they keep in their head. I'm like, I'm just trying to keep the dogs straight. You actually know how they move and what they're supposed to.
I will say this: my breed has not moved. It's still at 195.
Mm.
The English
What's your breed?
English Toy Spaniel.
That's Gina's breed as well. Yeah, she has one of those.
Wow.
Honestly, I love that breed. I think they're a really awesome breed. I think people kind of don't necessarily know what they look like, but I'm like, but you like Cavaliers and you like Cocker Spaniels. I'm like, and they kind of fall like in that family of look to me. But I'm like, but I like the English Toy Spaniel. They're very cat-like to me. Very cat-like.
No. They're just very quiet dogs. And the most interesting thing is people think they have no personality, but when they're home, they just have a
And they don't.
But again, as a person that grew up with cats, that's how my cats were. When somebody else was around, it was very like, When they were home, it was like zoom, run, jump, play. I have all of this.
They're a Cavalier is a fun dog, a bouncy dog. They have more intellectual prowess. That's just what they do. And they're like a one person, like kind of a one person dog. I mean, you can have lots of them, but I mean, my little dog is 9.5 pounds. He bolts into the bathroom. Okay. So, I had a question.
Sure.
Okay. So many people got dogs during the, especially purebred dogs. I mean, people adopted them from shelters, but a lot of people got purebred dogs during the pandemic. So one of the things that people always ask is, why should purebred dog owners register their dogs with the American Kennel Club?
Registering with the AKC is a good way to make sure that you are getting a healthy dog, knowing where your dog comes from. Breeders that register their litters with the AKC are big on health testing. They focus on their lines. So we're the largest purebred dog registry in the world, and there's several things you can do. It's everything from DNA testing to knowing where your line comes from. If you had a particular dog from a particular breeder or a particular line, we're the place to find it. You can know the history of your dog, and you can even research your breeder if you want to. So that's one of the reasons to register with the AKC.
Isn't that
several
awesome?
reasons.
That's totally awesome and so important for us as veterinarians in making recommendations about where do you get your pet. People come and ask us that all the time. So we always encourage people to look through the AKC.
Absolutely. And we're the only private registry that does inspections as well. So it's not just breeders just signing up and you don't know who it is. We actually go around. We have wonderful inspectors that travel the country that inspect the care and conditions of the dogs. So you are dealing with people who genuinely care about where your dog comes from, your dog's health, and having a happy and healthy life with your dog.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Brandi.
Hey, thank you for joining us today. It's so important. That information is so important, especially today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Pet Buzz.